Mercy said no.
Welcome to Moment of Mercy, powered by RCCG Mercy Hall, Katy, Texas. Moment of Mercy is anchored by our senior pastor, Innocent Utulu. Redeemed Christian Church of God, Mercy Hall, Katy, Texas. We are victorious on earth and prepared for heaven.
Otherwise, when you put yourself in the mold of people, by the time they're through with you, it's so disfigured that you can't even recognize yourself again. Praise the Lord. The seventh step Abraham took was the step of sacrifice. Genesis chapter 22 in verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. How did he do that? Laid him on the altar. I watched a movie because it was to sacrifice him. He had wood, he had fire. Laid him on the altar. For the movie, they depicted something. Abraham had actually set the wood on fire. So fire was already burning below the altar to consume the sacrifice. A child that he waited for about a century. He laid him on the altar, tied his hands and legs like a lamb, stretched forth his sharpened knife, sharpened for that occasion, so that it will not make two cuts, just one will settle the work. And he was bringing it down, and I can imagine the edge of the knife glistering in the desert sun, coming down, and I can imagine Abraham seeing the reflection of Isaac on the knife. And the whole of heaven stood at an attention. God, what is happening? When I was about to get to the truth of the son, God says, stop. So as far as we are concerned in heaven, you have killed him. As far as we are concerned, your son Isaac is dead. So when God calls Abraham his friend, you know why he did that? Abraham, my friend. Abraham, my friend. Abraham, my friend. Fire was under the altar. The sacrifice was tied. The knife was almost at the throat of the sacrifice. But Jehovah spoke. He said, the degree of your love for God is determined by what you are prepared to sacrifice for him. After Abraham did that, God said, now I know. And God looked round. I wish I can find a greater power by which to bless you. He looked round. I said, there's no greater power. So I swear by myself that in blessing, I will bless you. In multiplying, I multiply your seeds like the sands on the shores of the sea. The altar of sacrifice is the altar of change. The altar of sacrifice is the altar of an inauguration of greatness. The altar of sacrifice is a meeting point between God and man for a new beginning to be inaugurated in a man's destiny. Everyone that climbs to the altar of sacrifice will return fortunate. You don't return empty. The altar of sacrifice is the altar of an encounter with Jehovah. The altar of sacrifice is a place where you encounter God. An encounter that will be worth much more than 20 years of labor. The altar of sacrifice is the altar where God meets a man and writes him a promissory note of greatness. The altar of sacrifice. Until God smells something from the altar, he never alters a destiny. It's been discovered that every time in scriptures that fire fell from heaven upon an altar, there was something on that altar. The fire of God never falls on an empty altar. What are you placing on the altar? What are you placing on the altar? You have confessed enough. It is now time for action. You have wished enough. It's now time to worship God with a sacrifice. When what you have cannot meet your need, then it is a seed. Place that seed on the altar. Because no sacrifice, no glory.
From work to business, from business back to work, from work to business. Well, there's a time for everything.
Pastor Innocent and Christy Utulu invite you to come as you are. We praise, we pray, and we preach. Sundays at 10 a.m., 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mercy Hall, Katy, Texas is a parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Tune in to our Moment of Mercy telecast at 5 p.m. every Sunday at MBC. We are on prayer line every day at 10 p.m. 155-954-61000. Code 963-264#. Mercy Hall, 24814 Saddlespore Lane, Katy, Texas. Telephone 281-3174022. Mercy Hall, Katy, Texas. Online at rccgmercyhall.org. We are victorious on earth and prepared for heaven.